Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Pricie here, and I'm back with some more World of Tanks footage for you today. First off, just want to apologise. I haven't uploaded a video for a couple of weeks. Do apologise about that, but I have a few health issues that sometimes get in the way for me being able to upload a video, so I do apologise about that, but I hadn't been feeling too well, and it just sort of puts me right off of wanting to do a commentary, so I hope you don't mind. But that's just life. That's what all the people say, unfortunately. So I do apologise. I'm feeling a bit better now, so hopefully normal service will be resumed, and I can get back to bringing you some more good World of Tanks footage, hopefully, and some more subscriber replays in the future. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, today I'm in the T-150. We are playing on Runeberg, which is a city map which apparently is too dark. So it needs to be removed because it's just too dark. So there you go. Thanks, Wargaming. Can't really see the problem myself. I can see what I'm doing. I don't really see why people would moan that it's too dark, but I think they just want to take off another city map and then bring it back covered in snow for some half-arsed Christmas thing that they do. So yeah, there we go. You're soon to have Runeberg in the snow, which will be exactly the same as Runeberg on fire, except covered in snow. So, Wargaming map design, the least a man can get. But anyway, as I say, T-150, we're on Runeberg. I'm currently in the platoon with the Mango in a Cromwell, and the Ginge bot, who is in a T-34-85. We played this game quite late at night. I've been fiddling around with the T-150 for a while. Quite enjoy it myself. It's quite a fun tank, bit slow, same as any other sort of heavy, really heavy tank. So this was just a game that happened to come up, and we'll see how it pans out. So as you can see, I'm starting to put a few shots in now. I'm not being very lucky with my accuracy, but re-aim again at the TOG, or the TOG's last known position. Take myself a blind shot, and that shot did actually connect. So that's always nice to know, but I didn't find that out until the end of the game. So, but yeah, that one did hit. Now, as you can see from the mini-map, we don't have a lot in the way of heavy tanks in the city. In fact, we don't really have a lot of heavy tanks, period. It's basically myself and the TOG for what we've got left. We did have an M6, but he didn't last too long. So I proceed to side scrape the corner against this TOG, put in a shot, pull back into cover. Now I'm blocking the Panzer 4D a little bit, but it's kind of for his own good to stop him driving out sideways, like he is. But he gets a little bit frustrated for me not sort of letting him pass, and he decides to drive around behind me and just drive up there into all of the stuff that's there anyway. And as you can see, he didn't last too long. So I was kind of doing him a favour by blocking him. I was stopping his own suicidal lemming tendency from getting too much for him. But anyway, that's my first kill. Done 1,078 damage on the clock and just nommed into a TOG. Lots of hit points, plenty of damage to be done out of a TOG. Everyone loves a TOG. Not too hard to hit either. Not too inconspicuous. Pretty big target. So, time to see if we can have a pop at the other TOG. Now, he was last spotted over here, but apparently TOG camo is OP. So, can't see the TOG. It's probably the post box he was hiding behind or something now. That must have been obscuring him, because, you know, post box, TOG 2 tank, totally the same size. So take a little shot into his turret there, managed to get it to pen through the side, which is nice. And I've just got a really nice angle against this guy at the moment. There's not a lot that he can do. But we're thinning out on tanks in the city. There's basically myself and a Wolverine, that's all that's left. Mango and Ginge have bitten the dust. We've got two scumbag artillery pieces, one who looks like he hasn't even moved out of the cap, so I don't even know if he's in the game. And a Bert who, in fairness to him, Bert had a good game. He didn't do a lot of damage, but I think he kill secured all of the things. And we've also got an M4 who's rolling around the place, but he seems to be trying to come and link up with us, but we'll see how that goes when he gets here. So, after being sufficiently happy of poking the other corner and that the Wolverine's got my back for at least the time being, so the KV-85 can't come up and flank me, I go back to side scraping in my original corner that I was on and putting shots into that second TOG. Now, as you can see, the Wolverine's just bitten the dust. So, now I've got a problem. If this KV-85 comes round to my left-hand side via like E2, You can see me keep looking over now, like sort of thing, because I'm a little bit worried about that. If he comes around and shoots me in the side, then all my armour angling is going to be for naught, and he can just put shot after shot through the side of my tank at a pretty flush, flat angle and just pen me every time. So he's very low on health though, so I'm banking on the fact that because he's so low on health, he basically, for want of a better word, won't grow enough balls to come around the corner and bring it to me. So I actually take the first bit of damage there from that tug. That's because I was just pulling back into my normal position, hadn't started armour angling again, and I take a shot, but I can afford to take a shot. Let's just look at all the damage I've done so far, almost 2,000. Oh, that's on the board, and that was my first point of damage I've taken for the entire game. Everything else has just been into my tracks or ricocheting off the side of my tank. So, very handy. T-150, strong tank. Very good. Much armour made of Soviet moustache. Very strong. So, and there we are. Putting the final shot into the tog, finish him off. Put myself on 2.2k damage, grab my second kill. Now, we've got an issue 100Y from the enemy team who's running roughshod around the entire map, killing off everybody else. I think he was the one who ended off the M4. So he's now gone. So it's me and a Bert versus a KV-85, or not so much the KV-85 anymore, he's just disappeared. The SU 100Y, a Hummel and a Griller. Now, both their artillery pieces I know for a fact are active because they both got at least one kill each. Couldn't say the same for our Griller. I think was probably AFK in the cap the entire game, or wasn't really much of a fan of taking cover in somewhere inconspicuous and just thought, bugger it, I'm going to sit out in the open. So my only real problem at the moment is this SU 100Y, because he does a lot of damage, but if I can get the drop on him and get the first shot off, get him killed, then there's a good chance that I can take this game. So there we are, we spot him, 107 health, put in a semi-clutch shot, but Hand of Stalin's with me that time, and I actually managed to finish him off. So that's a great success for me. Now I'm on 4 kills, done 2.3, almost 2.4k damage on the clock. Just 2 artillery pieces left to finish off. Now, this is the fun part of the game for me, because this is where you get left alone, all by yourself, there's nobody else to interrupt you, and you can just go and kill artillery. And it's so rewarding, because after 15 minutes of them making your life a total misery everywhere on the map, you finally get to take a whole 200 health off of them as a reward. Woohoo! Heady. So, I've been changing my position, sort of tacking backwards and forwards a little bit. I don't want to seem too obvious to the enemy from which direction I'm coming from, so I don't really want to get shotgunned in the face by a couple of artillery pieces if I can help it. So I've now doubled back this way. Now I do make a few mistakes here, I must admit. I shouldn't be knocking over anything at this point, because artillery have got their very realistic 1940s top-down GPS view, which we all know that they definitely had in real life. That's totally historically accurate, that. Yeah, right, believe that if you believe anything. But I shouldn't be knocking over anything. Trees, lampposts, they're all things that even though they can't see me whilst if I'm not spotted, they can't see my tank actually knocking them over. When there's only one enemy tank left on the enemy team and you know where your friendly tanks are, it's a pretty good chance that when you see random trees just fall over and lampposts get knocked over, there's a pretty good chance that the enemy is where they are there, and you can get blind fired if they fancy taking a chance. So you have to be a little bit careful against artillery. They're a wily bunch with not much hit points, but they've got a few tricks up their sleeve. So anyway, we get a spot on the Griller. So I change direction, come up to try and head him off. He's actually the better player out of the two. Put in the shot, a whole 240 damage. Get rewarded magnificently there. Personally, I think artillery pieces should have 2,000 hit points and literally be made of one giant ammo rack, so it doesn't matter where you hit them, they just explode, because that way they'd actually be worth killing. And let's face it, in the tier 10 artillery, they're quite capable of taking 2,000 health off of your tank in one click. So, fair's fair, I think. So anyway, we killed a Griller. It's just a Hummel left. I did my usual textbook, head one way, turn around once the spot wears off, go back another way. For some reason, the Bert on our team is calling time, even though there's 5.5 minutes left on the clock. I don't know quite what he thought I was going to do. Perhaps he thought I was going to go AFK, make a cup of tea or something, or cook myself a sandwich or something like that. Nice bacon and egg sandwich, you know, favourite for the the tank driving cruise at that point, you know, no problem. Have some bacon, have some eggs, we'll get back to the game in a little while, no problem. But no, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to go to the cap either, not unless I absolutely have to. I'm going to check the usual places for their artillery. If I go to the cap, then yeah, there's a chance he'll come back, but there's also a chance that he'll just run off and try to avoid me, because he's not the strongest of players, so he might not want to fight, and he probably knows how much HP I've got, because he's probably witnessed me kill the griller, or at least somebody on their team has filled him in. So I'm looking in the usual spots around the bush cover here. This is another thing about artillery, they do have remarkably good camouflage for a giant gun on tracks, but hey ho, what can you do? Now the Burt wants me to cap for some reason, which, as I said, I'm not going to be willing to do unless the time gets really close and I can't find the RE in the obvious spots. But I drive around behind this building and there he is. Oh, look at that, 300 hit points. Fortunately, my gun rolls for its exact average damage. Put the kill into him, and that's put us on 2,900 damage on the clock. Let's have a look at the in-game score screen. So here we are at the in-game score screen for that T-150 game we just watched on Runeberg. And here we are at the personal score. As you can see, that was my ace tanker that game. Picked up the mastery, which is great. Got a few other little tokens, duelist, shell proof and fire for effect. And the more important medals of high caliber, steel wall and a top gun. Lovely jubbly. So let's have a look at the team score page. As you can see, that was 1,404 base experience. So not a monster round, but pretty damn good either way. And actually did 3,163 damage. So that blind shot that we fired on the TOG early on, definitely connected. Great success. As I say, I picked up 6 kills there. Also grabbed the 3 medals. And pretty much looking at the damage put out for the rest of our team, did a pretty good carry that game, I feel. I think definitely carried that game there for my team, which was great success, and took it for a win. For all the people out there that actually care about the WN8 and stuff like that, that was 12,303 WN8 that game, so really nice round. If we flip over to the detailed report, I fired 20 shots that game. Out of the 20 I fired, 15 hit the target. Out of the 15 that hit, 14 penned. Russian accuracy, Russian gun, it either will or it won't. You're not really in full control of the shell, but you just sort of push the button, hope for the best. I received 12 hits that game, of which 7 penetrated and had 5 non-penetrations, although a lot of those penetrating hits are hits that were sponged into my tracks. I think I only took 1 damaging hit the entire game that actually took hit points off my tank. And I blocked 1,350 damage with my armour that game, which is obviously, I don't think that includes the shots munched by your track either. So just to give you an idea, I mean, you could see during the video just how many things were pinging off my front and sides whilst I was there. So strong armour angling, getting yourself a good position, minimising the amount of area of weak spots that they can see is all a great way to hopefully help your tank stay in decent health. Now, I travelled 2.76 kilometres that game, which is a really fair and respectable distance for a heavy tank. With premium, made 56,700 credits. After deductions was 47,357. So, really nice round for a tier 6 tank. Made some good money. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this replay. Before you all switch off, I've got a little something different for you to watch. It's a game that me, T-150 and Mango played the other day on Winter Himmelsdorf. And it was a bit of a double derp to the face edition. So I'm going to do a few slow-mo playthroughs from a few different perspectives so you can witness it. But basically some things got derped and a Bombardier medal was had. So I'll leave you guys with that at the end. I hope you enjoy that. A little bonus clip on the end. As always, I've been Pricie. You guys have been great. And I'll see you on the next one.